God told you to be kind, to forgive, to love. But there are 5 things He never meant for you to share. Not with friends, not with family, not even with the people you trust most, because some truths are sacred, and the moment you speak them, you invite spiritual warfare. Let's talk about what God said you should never tell anyone. Number 1, never tell anyone your next move. When God gives you a vision, it's not for public discussion, it's for private preparation. Joseph learned this the hard way. The moment he shared his dream, his own brothers turned against him, not because he did anything wrong, but because his calling exposed their comfort. Some people will celebrate you until your destiny starts convicting their stagnation. And that's why God sometimes hides your plans, not to punish you, but to protect you. When you speak too soon, you invite opinions, doubt, and spiritual interference. Every word you speak has power, and the wrong ears can twist what God whispered. The enemy listens for clues. He studies patterns. He looks for open doors, and your words can become one. That's why the Bible says in Proverbs 29:11, "A fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back." Some visions grow best in silence. Some blessings are safest in secrecy. You don't need validation for what God already confirmed. When the time is right, your fruit will speak for itself. So don't announce, prepare, don't explain, obey, move quietly, pray deeply, and let your results preach louder than your words. Number 2, never tell anyone everything God told you in secret. Some things God speaks are meant for revelation, not conversation. When God whispers something to your spirit, a warning, a dream, a conviction, it's not always your job to explain it. Because some people will mock what they don't understand. Others will twist it, question it, or plant doubt where God planted faith. Think of Mary. When the angel told her she would carry the Son of God, she didn't run to prove it. She kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. Why? Because revelation loses its purity when exposed to the wrong atmosphere. There are moments when God speaks to protect, to instruct, or to prepare. And if you release it too early, you invite voices that were never meant to influence your obedience. Some divine instructions are like seeds. If you dig them up too soon, they'll never grow. So guard what God whispers. Not every word is meant for the public. Some are meant for your altar, not your audience. Remember, revelation is sacred currency. Spend it only where there's discernment. Number 3, never tell anyone your good deeds or sacrifices. In a world obsessed with showing everything, God still values what's done in secret. Matthew 6:3 says, "But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing." Because when you seek attention for what should honor God, the reward shifts from heaven's approval to human applause. Some people do the right thing but lose the blessing because they want it to be seen. They post it, mention it, or slip it into conversations, hoping someone will notice. But God doesn't need you to prove your goodness. He's already seen it. When you brag about your obedience, you make the sacrifice about you, not Him. And the moment you trade sincerity for recognition, you also trade reward for reputation. That's why Jesus said, "Your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you openly." Matthew 6:4. Some of your greatest victories will never be public. Your tears, your fasting, your giving, they may go unseen by people, but they echo loudly in heaven. So give silently, pray privately, love humbly, because when you keep your sacrifices hidden, God makes sure your results can't be ignored. Number 4, never tell anyone your weaknesses. While you're still healing, there's a difference between a testimony and a wound. A testimony is what you share after God heals you. A wound is what you protect while He's still working. Too many people open up to the wrong ears hoping for comfort, but end up giving the enemy ammunition. Not everyone who listens cares. Some just collect information. That's why Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." Your vulnerability is holy ground. Not everyone is meant to stand on it. Even Jesus didn't reveal everything to everyone. He had the crowds, the disciples, and then the inner circle. And there were still things only he and the Father shared. It's okay to be transparent, but be spirit-led, not emotionally driven. Share your battles with those who are anointed to handle them, not just available to hear them. Because when you expose pain too early, you risk reopening what God is trying to close. So until your wound becomes your witness, stay quiet, stay prayerful, and let God finish the healing in secret. Number 5, never tell anyone everything about your blessings. Not everyone celebrating with you is happy for you. Some people praise you publicly, but envy you privately. And if the enemy can't steal your faith, he'll try to steal your focus by turning your blessings into a target. That's why sometimes, after God blesses you, things suddenly get harder because you exposed what was meant to stay hidden. Think of the wise men who visited Jesus. After they found him, an angel warned them not to tell Herod where the child was. Some blessings are fragile, too new to survive exposure. God's favor is like fresh oil. It must be covered until it's ready to pour. When you tell the wrong people what God gave you, jealousy, doubt, and curses can follow. That's not superstition. That's spiritual wisdom. Celebrate in gratitude, not in public display. Thank God quietly before you tell the world loudly. Let your peace be the proof that you're blessed, not your posts or your praise reports. Because true favor doesn't need an announcement. It reveals itself in time. Every secret God asks you to guard isn't about silence. It's about stewardship. Your dreams, your revelations, your sacrifices, your healing, your blessings, they're all sacred assignments. And when you learn to protect what's holy, you create space for God to multiply it, because the enemy can't attack what he doesn't know about, and people can't curse what they can't see. So guard your words like you guard your heart. Move quietly, love deeply, and let your life speak louder than your lips. The truth is, God's not trying to hide things from you. He's teaching you how to protect what's for you, because when you learn to move in silence, he starts to speak louder in your spirit. So before you share your next dream, blessing, or breakthrough, ask yourself, is this for people's ears or for God's glory? If this message spoke to you, drop a "guard it" in the comments, and make sure you subscribe, because the next message will reveal how God exposes people who secretly plot against your destiny. Stay covered, stay discerning. God is still speaking. Just make sure the right people are listening.